Welcome in, everyone. We're just doing our sorting. I refilled the bucket.
What you doing?
Thank you for the biddies, Crazy. You're not Lego. I found a Star Wars head. Some of these I probably don't have a bucket for, but it's easier to just flop them all back in at the end than try to guess which ones don't have a bucket. I just do this. Guess not. Welcome in, Alex. I know I did these. Right there. Excuse all the pet hair that is mixed in with these Legos. I found a Batman. At least the leg parts. They're not Lego either. I guess I don't have a crowd for that yet. Okay, I think that's probably a good amount of sorting. And then I get to find all the buckets. Dropped out of my hand. That's the tip for the first part. Come on. Trying to pick them up without also then dropping them all at the same time. They must all be singles. Rhyhorn is loose in chat. Ignore, I guess, the fact that it doesn't look like the picture does not match the type. Okay, it's just a flat one. Add some chairs, or at least that's what I call them, chairs. And I saw one in here, but I didn't have it, so I didn't get it out. There's that. Okay. One of those. Well, which is it in here? I guess all flax is what it looks like. One of those. No flower ones. One of those. I'm soon gonna have to move these 2x1 regulars. This is different because this bucket is getting quite full. I guess I just stick hair in the box. That stuff they wear, like hats and bows and tanks and stuff. Welcome in, Lars Skywalker. Twitch tried stopping me being here again. Do you think we can start typing before it boards? Twitch has been especially twitchy lately. I don't know about anybody else, but it has been especially twitchy lately, I think. I'm just putting away the sorting that I have done. You know, you never know if it's really successful sorting, though. And half the time I feel like I drop things on the way to putting them away. It looks like I'm putting all these in the same bucket. Probably those two. And those were stickered pieces, but I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. these were somewhere else. Or maybe I don't have a spot for them. Sometimes I think it's a different piece, and then I open the drawer and I'm like, nope, that's not the pieces. Or it wasn't in with something I thought it was in. Okay. Let's see. I had an empty bucket in there. Let's just put that in there. I forgot to make a thing for that for today. I will have to quick do that. I'm almost done with the sorty. Or I guess really putting away the sorty. Windows, large pieces. Try to get away from me. And then car pieces. Maybe I didn't have those in. Oh, there's our swing pile. Okay, only a couple today that I sorted out that didn't actually have a spot that I thought they might have had a spot. And maybe they didn't, I just missed them. That's been known to happen too. Get all the pet hair off because it collects everywhere. Even when I attempt for it to not to. Oh, let's see. Like I said, the campaign switched to a new one, so I need vamps and assists. We're kind of in this in between because it doesn't have like the thing across the bottom here. Welcome in, Kaz. Yeah, happy treason day. Okay, what's the difference? They both are ones. I guess we'll go with this one. I hope you are feeling better, Kaz, and further along in the road to recovery. I'll just have to look when that sound plays if it's fantasy or if it's carrot, because his video plays it. Okay, I need to find. Oh, there's my vampire. We're kind of in like this in between campaigns thing that they put up. Woohoo! My stitches were the dissolving kind, but it turned out my body didn't like them, which was fun. Yeah, mine were supposed to be dissolving stitches, except they didn't really dissolve. They had to kind of like pull them out. Like, I went back for like the post checkup and whatnot, and they hadn't dissolved or anything, so they had to kind of like trim, like pull out what they could and trim, and it was a mess. Yeah. When I had the surgeries on my leg, I had staples, and apparently I get a hematoma after every surgery. Like, they do their best to like, they always do their best to like stop things like that from happening, but some people are just more prone to them. So along one of the staples there's always a hematoma, so they take the staple out and then the blood just starts to flow. It's not like I'm actively bleeding, really. It's whatever's in that pocket. And then, you know. But I told them that when I had my last ankle surgery, they did orthoscopic, like right down here instead of cutting the big spot. And so they thought the answer to those was to leave the staples in for a whole extra week. So my skin superfused to the staples, and I bled more than just the hematoma as they're trying to rip, because my skin was like ripping every time they would take the staple out, because they left it in for 2 weeks instead of just 1 week. So I had the hematoma, and then I had like a sore where every staple was that they pulled out. I was like, this is not better. This is not better. Yeah, I was like, okay, next time we're not doing that. Like, I don't care. Like, it's something that just happens. Like I said, because it's a pocket essentially around the staple, and once it drains from there, you're not really like actively bleeding. Yes, they make the stupidest decisions. Yeah, when they took this ovary, they did like high up on my belly, they had like a 2-inch cut, and then lower near my hip, like a 1-inch cut, and then in my belly button they cut. And they did it all orthoscopically or laparoscopically, however you say that. And then when I had my hysterectomy, I had a cut on the right side, one on the left side, and in my belly button again. And then they took everything but my left ovary, because I already had my right ovary removed. So they took like my cervix and my uterus. So now all I have left is my left ovary, and I can't have kids, which is fantastic. I didn't want any more. I had my tubes tied with my last. It was like, I don't know. Let's see, about 2.5 years ago, I had my partial hysterectomy, and so no more kids. I have 3, and I don't have great success with pregnancy, so it wasn't any loss to not be able to get pregnant again. I didn't want any more anyway. Oops, excuse me, sorry. But yeah, I had to fight, like, I was having feminine issues with my cycle, and they were trying to figure out why, and I was like, dude, does it matter? Can't you just give me a hysterectomy? I don't want any more kids anyway. And they're like, oh, you don't? And I was like, no, I had my tubes tied like 14 years ago, or like 12 years prior to that. Listen, I don't think that children are a massive commitment. People say you're selfish if you don't want to have children, but I think it's selfish to have children because society says you should and not want them. In some way, that is going to affect them. Like, my kids are older, and I was like, I don't know if given the chance to go back and do it again, if I would have children. That's not to say I don't love my children 100%, but some days I would like them to just go away. Like, I'm done. And so I didn't have any more. I knew when I got pregnant with the last that I was done. I did not want any more. Yeah, children are a giant commitment, and the fact that, like, society as a whole pushes to have children that either you can't afford or you don't want, or you're not in like a mental capacity to deal with that kind of long-term commitment, I think is ridiculous. Oh, listen, then he better figure out a way to have them, because it ain't gonna be my body. Or you'll change your mind. I did not want children as like in my younger years. And then it was just, I mean, it was kind of like an abstract idea. I mean, granted, I say in my younger years, I got pregnant with my oldest when I was 18. So, I mean, I was still young. Welcome in, Devin. Yes, it's Happy Treason Day, as my shirt says. Happy Treason Day. And the bottom of it says, ungrateful peasants. His sister is going abroad for surgery. She's suspected to have endometriosis, but the NHS have been dragging their feet on doing slow surgery to say for sure. Done. Yeah, I mean, endometriosis is something that still, even though it is a disease, whatever you want to call it, something that affects a ton of women, that it's still like hard to diagnose or people want to overlook. See, I actually swapped. I wanted to adopt when I was younger, since I was adopted, sort of like pay it forward type. Right? I mean, I get that adoption kids are already out there in the world, so you're just like taking them in and giving them, you know, a good life. But it's still like, I mean, it's still a crazy commitment. That's not the right one. There it is. Oop, I forgot to pin. I got ahead of myself. Looking at the wrong row. Welcome back. But yeah, I mean, I can understand adoption, but I mean, you still have to want to have children. Like in your life, you still have to want to care for children. You know, in that kind of long-term capacity. It's still a crazy like concept, and I know there's some people, I mean, God, the stories on Reddit where they're like, my parents said they'll disown me if I don't have a child. Well, they're not also gonna raise that child. Right, you could still have children in your life, like, if you don't want to be pregnant. I mean, frankly, in the state of affairs, especially in the United States, getting pregnant is risky. If something goes wrong, there's a lot of states where you won't get any help. I mean, you could die trying to bring a child into the world. In many places, it's more like you're an incubator now. You're not a human. You're just somebody who can get pregnant. It just sucks. She's in so much pain. They're giving her strong painkillers so she could just not be in excruciating pain all the time. Not even have a good quality of life, but just to be. Yeah, I totally understand what you're trying to say. But that's not the answer. They don't want to look for the root cause of what is causing the pain to happen. They just want to, oh, well, we'll treat the side effects. It's ridiculous. It is total Handmaid's Tale in real life in a lot of places. Yeah, I don't think it's very well understood. When they took out my right ovary because it twisted, they thought I had endometriosis. Apparently I'm missing something somewhere. Or I put something somewhere wrong. Ah, I see what I did. I put it up too high. They thought I had endometriosis, so they looked at it, like they were obviously already in there. So he looked at it and he was like, no. And I was like, dang it. Why didn't you just say I had it and take it? I don't want them anymore. But yeah, I don't think it's completely understood, and I don't think they're in any rush. Yeah, I had a torsion. My right ovary twisted around itself. And the first hospital I went to, because we were on vacation visiting my in-laws, on the way back, it was so bad, we had to pull off at the first hospital we saw on the highway. And take me to the emergency room. And they're like, oh, you have a urinary tract infection, and sent me home. Now, I am prone to urinary tract infections, and I was like, this is no urinary tract infection. And they're like, yeah, I threw up in the emergency room, and they still thought it was just a urinary tract infection. I was like, I have had far too many urinary tract infections in my life, and this is not it. This is not it. And I threw up in the room, and they're like, oh, it's just because you're in pain. And I was like, you're right, but this is not a UTI. This is up here, not when I pee. And they're like, no, trust us. Your white count is high. And I was like, well, that could mean anything. That just means my body's fighting something. It's not indicative of a urinary tract infection. Hello, by the bricks. Welcome into our girly conversation. Be prepared. But so that was on either a Saturday or a Sunday. And Tuesday I was still in excruciating pain. And so my husband took me to the emergency room near my house. And they took one look at me and they're like, yeah, you're just gonna go straight to the back. We'll triage you in the room. And so we get in there, they're doing all the triage stuff, and they're like, tell us what happened. And so I told them the whole story, and they're like, okay, first we're gonna give you pain meds. And I was like, I can't have morphine. And they're like, you're allergic? And I was like, it doesn't work. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, it's in my medical file that morphine doesn't work for me. You can try to get it from the base, or you can just trust me. I'm not asking for like the strongest thing you can give me. I just can't take morphine. It doesn't work. Which of course they can't take my word for. So I sat for an hour till they could prove that the morphine didn't work. And then I got something else. But they did like a internal. Yeah, it's so lame. They did the internal and looked at it and they're like, oh crap. And they're like, you have your right ovary is in torsion. You need emergency surgery now. And they're like, when's the last time you ate? And whoop, they went and took me up for surgery. And then when I went back for like my post-op, the doc brought out the pictures that they took during the surgery. And he's like, I want to show you your left ovary first, so you know what you're seeing. And so, it's like the size of an acorn. It's super tiny. Oh yeah, they saw that torsion and they were like, we're out. Like, that's it. We're doing surgery right now. I was probably in surgery within an hour of them discovering that's what was causing the issue. But yeah, he showed me my left ovary and it was like a little tiny little acorn size thing. Yeah, it was really bad. And then they took out my right ovary. I had torsion, it twisted around itself. And then he went over and showed me my right ovary, and like, if my left was an acorn, my right was like 10 times the size. And in the pictures, you could see where like stuff was seeping out of it, basically. And he said, it's lucky you came in today because that thing was going to burst really soon and you would have went into septic and you would have died. He goes, and your husband would have been able to sue that other hospital for misdiagnosing you. Because it was like so close to bursting. I got admitted to gynecology because I was pooping blood like a lot because of the pain. I could have had something gynecological. Oh my god. Yeah, they're freaking crazy. Yeah, I mean, women's health, it's more important that men can get an erection than we know why women are dying left and right. Do you know the United States has the highest infant mortality rate, or maternal mortality rate of any first world country? Women are still dying quite often, either in childbirth or while being pregnant. And we're like, it's nothing to worry about. Yeah, they don't know what it is. They don't understand completely what endometriosis is, and they don't. Do you know, up until like 1997, when they did testing, they weren't using real blood. Like when they were testing feminine products in labs, they weren't using real blood. They were using that blue chemical to test how well it absorbed. Yeah, they're only worried about the baby coming out. They're not worried about the incubator that housed it for 9 months. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It is crazy the amount that, and even when you go in and say you're in pain, they're like, oh. And no matter what kind of crap you go in for, when was your last period is the first question they ask. Like, I said I have a cold and chest pains. What does that have to do with anything? I had a tumor inside my right ovary when I was on Clomid to try to get pregnant, and it's why they had to take me off the medicine and then put me back on birth control to help shrink it. Yeah, anything you go in for, it's when was your last period? I don't know what the hell that has to do with it. I keep track. My daughter will be 16 in January, and I keep track of her periods. Not in an app, because I don't trust them either. Talk conspiracy theories. Soon they're gonna be able to like, if you have an abortion, summon your period tracker information and use it against you. Right. So I keep track of it, but not like in a period tracker. And when she goes for her things, they're like, "Is your period regular?" And I'll be like, she knows and I know, and it's always up to her whether I stay in the room or leave. But they ask, and she'll look at me, and I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Well, when was her last one?" I was like, "That is information you don't need to know. Just accept that it is on a regular cycle and leave it at that. If she's having problems, then we can talk about those things. But I don't trust you people to not use it against somebody in certain circumstances." That poor little girl, what was it, in Idaho several years ago, was 11, and they made her keep the baby. And then they wanted to force her to keep the baby. And then when her mother took her across state lines into Indiana to have an abortion, they're still trying to sue that doctor. Because in the state of Indiana, her mother said she can have an abortion. And they're still trying to sue that doctor to make her lose her medical license because she gave it to her. She should have made an 11-year-old stay pregnant. Right? 11-year-olds should not be pregnant. And then they found out, like, the guy who had molested her, raped her, however you want to put it, had done it more than once, and he got, like, 6 months in jail. I hate this. It's ridiculous. Like, and then people are like, well, my kids don't really go places without me. Not a ton. And I'm not saying I never let them go anywhere. They don't get to have any friends. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I am very cautious about where they go and who they're around and things like that. Because I don't trust people as far as I can throw them. Like, you gotta be worried about people you know and strangers. Kevin! Can't throw people either. Right. Like, we're cautious. Like, if she wants to go to a sleepover, do I know the parents? Who else is going to be there? Etc., etc. Like, yeah. We are cautious without being smothering. Like, I'm not saying you can't go, but we are going to have to talk about who's going to be there and whether I know the parents or not. Like, if they have some random uncle I don't know staying over, no. Or they have an older sibling who's going to have a friend over too, or pass. Unless we know the older sibling too. But, I'm not. Thanks, but no thanks. Why do I feel like I missed something somewhere? I don't know. Okay, and there. And there. Maybe I just only pulled 2 up. And I mean, we've kind of always had the talk with them about different things and how to be careful and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm short of things, so maybe I did do something wrong somewhere. Okay, let's see. Did I knock one on my lap? we're just all over the place. We're a little crazy. I feel like I did something wrong. It is that. I pulled one too many breaks there. Right, I mean... It's trying to guess, like, the layers. Okay. Now, where did I take this one? Here. There we go. I put this there thinking that this had to be, like, the same layer. Oh, dude, did I tell you about the panic attacks and lack of post-surgery care? No! Okay, listen. I am the most annoying person when I have surgery because I need to know everything. Like, they hand me, like, I make them go over it with me before I have the surgery when I'm coherent. And then, even after the surgery, I'm like, go over it again. And then I, like, look over the paperwork before I leave and I'll, like, ask questions. Well, oh god, let's see. I had my wisdom teeth out, which is technically, I mean, really isn't a major surgery anymore. But I had that. I've had 3 C-sections, partial hysterectomy, removing my right ovary. I had surgery on my ankle 3 times. So that's like, I've had like a dozen surgeries. You know, varying in degrees of how major to minor, but I am like crazy about like post-surgery stuff. Like, you gotta tell me everything. When my oldest was about 2, he was very aggressive. He just loved people way too hard. People are always accusing me of hovering over him, that he would be fine. I'm always like, yeah. Yeah. You don't understand. I'm not trying to protect him. I'm trying to protect you. Yeah, it's... Post-surgery is weird. Like, some doctors are super thorough, and other doctors are like, nah, just go home. Okay, there are, according to this, 9, 10 with my little curse thingy, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully they're all, like, super easy to kill. And I think because I've had so many surgeries, I frustrate the doctors. Because I go in knowing things or knowing how I'll react or what I need. And they're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm positive. I've done this many, many times. We'll go with Laura. What's the difference? I'm always trying to figure out the difference between one or the other. Well, I'll pay to do it again. Okay, there it's all set up for you guys. But yeah, post-surgery is like a weird thing, especially if it's your first time having surgery. Like, you have no idea what to expect, like how you'll handle anesthesia and things like that. And then on top of it, when they don't give you clear instructions, like about things to do or not do, or things to be on the lookout for, that's not good. Girl, they claim to have no idea that I had anxiety despite it being in my records, and they have a list of my meds and why I take them. Yeah, I'm always like religious about going over, like, even when I just go to the doctor for a visit, like, these are my meds. Is something new you give me going to interact? And certain drug interactions don't really faze me because I have a thing where I process drugs really fast. So while the interaction may be there for somebody else because it's supposed to sit in your system, for me it doesn't. It's in and out. So I don't have to worry so much about those, but I do ask, like, if I take this and this together, like, I had a medicine that was like, do not, because I have like nerve damage and stuff, and they were like, do, on the bottle it said, do not take anything else without contacting your doctor first. So when I would get a cold and I would try to take over the counter stuff, I'm like, is it okay to take with this? And they're like, you don't have to call every time. I was like, on the bottle it says, do not take anything else without contacting your doctor. I am contacting my doctor. Like, you can be annoyed with me, little Miss Nurse, all you want, but I am just doing what I was instructed. I tried not to be too overprotective of Joe, but I almost lost him to kidnapping once before, and I ain't letting that happen again. Trafficking, I don't want to say it's more prevalent now than it was then, because kids have always been kidnapped. But I think it is more publicized and we are more, like, consciously aware. And I do think human trafficking has picked up. I think it not used to be human trafficking so much before, but like pedophilia and stuff. And now you have to be worried that you're going to be taken and sold off. If I'd have known when I would have, I included anxiety meds in your post-op. Like, what the heck? I swear they don't read. They don't read your file. Yeah, I swear they don't read your file. Sorry, I have this piece of skin here. It's driving me bananas. I swear they don't read your file. Because I hate when you call and make the doctor's appointment. You have to tell the person you're making the appointment with why you want to see the appointment. Then you get there and you have to tell them again when you check in. And then you tell the nurse who triages you, like the pre-appointment stuff. And then when the doctor comes in, you have to tell them too. This is like, did nobody communicate? Did nobody talk to each other? I have told 3 people alone today why I'm here. And I wear what they call an IDEO brace. It's like IDAO. It's like outside. It's like a exoskeleton brace, and it goes from my knee all the way down into my shoe underneath my foot. Like, my foot sits in it and it goes all the way up, and it's got clips and buckles and all the nice stuff. And I will go into a new doctor. Like, when we moved, I had to go into the new base and meet my doctor, get refills, split, things like that. And she was like, "Oh, you wear a brace?" And I was like, "This thing on my leg." And she was like, "Oh, well, how much longer do you have to wear that?" And I was like, "Till I die? Or they fix it with surgery, which is doubtful." Like, what do you mean? It's in my medical file that I wear a exoskeleton brace. And she's like, "Oh, I must have missed it." No, you didn't read it at all. That's what I'm talking about. You have to be worried about people you know and people you don't know. Yes, you heard drugs. I get all the good drugs. Well, not the good stuff, because I actively try not to get the too good stuff, because I will have to take the meds the rest of my life. How are you doing today, Rad? I responded to your post in Discord. Well, I have a weird muscle relaxer that, like, I guess isn't prescribed very often because of the type of muscle relaxer it is. And then I have nerve medicine and pain medicine, and I have lidocaine patches. That's alright. I just wanted to let you know that I did respond. I never know what I'm doing either, Rad. Like, this is the most talkative I've been on my stream in probably like a week and a half worth of streams. Most of the time, not much talking happens. There's like occasional conversation here and there, but it's not like continual conversation. So don't worry, but I always worry that I'm too quiet sometimes. Like that there's not a continual stream of conversation. And I don't know what I'm doing either. Listen, my birthday's at the end of the month. I'm almost at 250 followers. The date of my first stream, like 1 year from that, is next week, and my affiliate anniversary are all coming up within like the next 3 months. 2 of those things are happening this month. I never know what I'm doing. Like, I had to look it up. I thought I couldn't find it, and then I realized I added it on the little info about me. So next Tuesday will be 1 year from my first stream. So like my 1 year on Twitch. So I was like, I have to do something for that. And then my birthday is on the 31st, so I should do something for that. And then whenever I hit 250 followers, I should do something for that. And I was gonna build Sanctum, Doctor Strange's house, from start to finish all in one stream. But I was like, with my 1 year affiliate anniversary coming up, should I wait and hold and do that then and do something else for 250 followers? I don't know what I'm doing either, Red. Like, at all, ever, anytime. Yes, I saw it yesterday or Tuesday. I got to looking at something, trying to figure out, I guess, when it was, and it, how you randomly like click through things, and it brought up like my about me section in like your where you can do like your info, or not your info, but like where you can look at your previous VODs and things like that and get your analytics and all that, and it clicking randomly, and it brought me to like the thing where you can alter your about, and I was like, oh, I wrote it down. Look at me, thinking ahead, knowing I would forget. I did it. I didn't pay attention to the fact that I did it, but I did it. But yeah, sometimes conversation just flows, and the other times I just sit kind of silently and you guys just watch whatever I do on screen. Yeah, so I found a pattern for crochet. Keep in mind, I am not an excellent crocheter, but I found a pattern for crochet of a dumpster fire. And I was thinking about doing that for my for like the 1 year, like starting to work on it. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an excellent crocheter. And crochet really isn't kind of my content, but you have to check it now, but I responded to your comment. I believe I found something that will hold my attention and drive for. That's great. I mean, like, listen, we're all. If you are a maker and crafter of any kind, you probably are on the spectrum or have ADD or ADHD, and we all develop new hyperfixations. So I think if your content changes like slightly over time, one, that's kind of expected no matter what. And second of all, I think it's normal for like to add things or take things away or stop doing things for a while and then go back. Dumpster fire. Yep. Yeah, like you're not forced to talk, but the option is always there. Oh, she does. She probably has like 12 different blues. She's got a crazy amount of everything. Yeah, like, and sometimes it isn't like, okay, like, I'm kind of tired of doing that for a little bit. Like, your main content, like, I'll probably always do Lego, but like the little things I do with it, like diamond dots or crochet or puzzles, you know, like, or video games you play, those are things are always gonna like change on the periphery. Like how often you do them, how much you want to do them, what types you do. Well, listen, it's because I had the little dumpster fire. And Carrot is like obsessed with this little dumpster fire. Right. That can. The discouragement I don't completely understand because I just do things and I don't care how they turn out. I do them for me, and if they look like crap, then they look like crap, but I had fun doing it. So Steel got me into the crocheting. I was like, I could add a redeem to work for like I do with the perler beads, with the diamond dots, where I work on it for a little bit. I think I have one Nutella cookie left. I was gonna ask you. I just want to finish my thought before it ran away, because they run away often. But like I think those things on that kind of periphery of what you do, like your main content may stay the same, but those little things you add on the edges to like fill it out or to make the stream more interesting are always going to change. So like if your main thing is I build Lego, you may build Lego a little less for periods. I know I had to go to the store and buy another bag. Nutella goodness. I do have a jar of Nutella in the cabinet at all times. You have a great day, Kaz. And I'm glad you're feeling better. But yeah, like, I think those things are always gonna kind of come and go. And you may feel burned out kind of on your main content, so you do the side stuff more for a little while. But you know, it's all things like that. Or even if you want to change up what your main content is, I mean, that may be a little harder to do because you may lose some of the people who've been who follow just for that reason. Um, but people who come to your stream often are coming for more than just the content you do. They're coming for you too, which still is weird to me that people come and hang out with me, but whatever. I think it's always going to be weird to me though, so but yeah, I mean, as you like, I don't, because most times we don't lose complete interest in something, we're just tired of doing it right now, and then so we go find a new thing to do. But I think as you kind of ebb and flow with what you like to do, that side content is gonna change. I go with whatever takes my fancy that day, other than Fridays when I do Technic, if I ever get back into a routine. Yeah, I mean, Sundays are always video games for me, but the video game changes. Like right now, I am heavily invested in Disney Dreamlight Valley, and we're going to be playing that forever. And forever may wind up being a month. But, you know what I mean? Like, time or money is always the bitch of it. Like, the crux of everything is not enough time and money. Let me see if I can... I'm on the thing I'm trying to press. Let's see if I can find it. It's here some. Oh, there it is. I found this trash can fire. And I so thought it would be perfect to try to work on it on stream because I have the dumpster fire. I couldn't find this exact shade, but I found one pretty close. It's just a smidgen darker, but you know, I mean, my stream baby things are dumpster fires too. But I thought it would be perfect to work on stream. Let's go. What's it? My spirit animal is a dumpster fire. It's like, it's fine, it's okay. I mean, the whole room is on fire, but it's okay, I'm fine. No, this bag is all white. There's no other color in it. And a bunch of these birds. So, little birdies. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. They're little birdies. I really want to stream. I have sat there that I really want to build, but haven't had the time to go and do anything for myself. Like, it's not my main concern at the moment with Joe being ill, but it's really annoying me that I can't get into a routine so I can stream and build. Yeah, I understand that. Like, when I have to go when I set like a routine or schedule for myself and then I don't follow that, I get annoyed. Like I get kind of like mentally frustrated if I have to like change the day or time. But that's mainly because I know who's on what days and who's bound to show up on certain days, you know. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't know on this other day. And it's not like a real frustration, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I don't know how to like accurately explain it either. There's one. That and this. I mean, because changes in schedules happen. This for okay, right there. Yeah, probably because the drops that they had marked were to end at like 1 o'clock my time, our time. So we'll see when I go to press it if it's gonna let me or if it's gonna make me like restart right away. And I think some of the frustration is more like I have a schedule out there and then I don't keep that schedule because of whatever, then it's like a, you know, like you're supposed to work that day and didn't. Oh, all the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not nearly as many as before, but still lots of dots. Okay. Pull this blue. There's the wood. Or the leaf, rather. Okay, I think I got those all in the right space. Okay. There's only one of these leaves, so let me try to find that. I think it's right here. And only one of these, so. Now these. finger out. What's that song? It looks level. Just upset Joe. He wanted something and I went to give it to him and said psych. So as Boy Wonder was always a negotiator. And like sometimes I'm not up for negotiation. You know, like I don't want to hear it. I just want you, like I told you no. That's it. And then he'd get upset. Like I would tell him why I said no, and he'd get upset. And so after a little bit, and people were like, I don't think that's funny, but I thought it was funny because he knew I meant business, and I was done. And it was kind of like a funny thing to say, at least to me. It probably wasn't funny to everyone. But like, he would get in these moods where like the no and the explanation were not enough. And so I'd be like, look at this. He'd be like, you know, going on and on. I'd be like, look at this face. And he'd be like, what? I'd be like, this face doesn't care. And as he got older, I'd just point to my face and he's like, I know, this face doesn't care. Like, I've done the explaining. I've done all the negotiating I'm going to do about this subject. This face doesn't care anymore. Look at this face. Like, this face doesn't care. And it would not be like an off the bat thing. There, like I said, there would be a discussion. There'd be like, why I told you no, why you can't have it, whatever. And then he'd just keep going on and I'd be like, no, look at this face. Look at this face. This face doesn't care. Like, I just... So we'd be, like, out, and he'd start, and I'd be like, I'd point to my face, and he'd be like, I know, it doesn't care. And people were like, oh my god, did you just tell him you don't care? And I was like, I did, because I don't. Because it would always be off, like, silly stuff. Like, why can't I have 5 minutes more of time? Why can't I have a snack a half an hour before dinner is going to be done? You know, like those. Why can't I have 5 more minutes of bed before bedtime? Why can't I have just a little more time on the computer? Why can't I, you know, like at the pool? Why can't I have 5 more minutes of pool time? Because we need to go. Because dinner's going to be soon. Because you need to stay on a schedule. But you know, things like that. So it became like after a while, all I had to do was point to my face. It can't be ours. anybody else ever put their children to bed like early? Like when they're too little to know that it's too early? They're like, oh, look at that, it's bedtime. You're like, but it's still light outside. I know, but we live where it's light outside till midnight. It's bedtime. It's like an hour before bedtime. But today, you know, that day was just a day, and you're like, no, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. So 77 against 79. We are rocking it. A whole bunch of people joined in this last battle. Ooh, we were taking them down fast. I don't know what this morale meter is. And I can't click it either. So. Any scrolls. Okay, Laura. Woohoo, we won! Okay, I'll give you... If I can use my brain. There's gold and rogue scrolls if anybody else is interested. If not, I will disperse as, you know, I see fit, I guess. I try to remember who I randomly pick, and then if I do randoms the next round, try not to pick them the same if there's like other people. Okay, so I picked Random Cat and Crazy. Ooh, Beastlands is the new one, so we'll... Let me make sure... I was gonna say my quest probably changed because of it. Battles, place 5 warriors. 1 more vampire. Vampire warriors. Let's see, I can probably buy more scrolls now. Yep. Probably try to do my vampire again, just so I can be done with it. So we started back over in this new, but we were only like 2 battles into the other one, so. What's this? It won't tell me. I'm gonna close it and reopen it. To see if it tries to update as well. So I had a problem with Stream Raiders earlier, and I had to uninstall it and reinstall it, and I wonder if I'm gonna have to do it again. uninstalled it. Let me reinstall it real quick. Yes. Why is it not wanting to work? Let me see if I can do it like on the browser instead of the app, because the app doesn't seem to, like I said, I had to uninstall it and reinstall it earlier, and that's what I just did this time, except it doesn't want to do the reinstall. So sorry. I'm trying to get it to work that way, you know, it works for you guys. Okay, I may have to go to... Okay, that's what I'll have to do when it goes on, or when it's time. Okay, I kind of got it working right now. It's kind of not the perfect work, but it's working. So, you guys should be good. Ooh, there's already 22 different people who have put in a battle participant, soldier, whatever. I so often pick up these, these or like just angled ones in general, and then I grab the wrong one and I don't realize it until like I'm in the process of putting it on, and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna dig around. Oh please. I try to keep this light off. That way, because sometimes it creates like a glare, but I think it might be alright. That's too much. That's a little dark. Maybe just one. That brightened it up a little. That doesn't look right. Nope, that is the right spot. It's just the bricks were like so seamless together. It looked like it was a 3 instead of a 2 and a 1. This one is going to drive me nuts because it's hanging off the edge right now. I mean, once we put the frame on, it probably won't bug me. But I was like, I'm going to bump this and knock it off like 5 million times. Oh, good. They put like a piece to help it stay on. I doubt it would stop me from bumping it off, but so yesterday I took Fantasy to get some more arrows because she was shooting them in the backyard and she lost one. She thinks it went into like this little burn pit thing we have in the backyard, but I'm not digging through it to find it. So we went to get her one, and then we got her another set so she'd have a backup set, or that she can just shoot both sets before she's got to walk up to the target and retrieve them. And then we asked about like what we were using, like a tarp to catch the arrows, and then we realized it doesn't really stop them. It just went through. Like it wasn't a thick enough tarp to stop the arrows. So we asked at this local place where we get her archery stuff, and they suggested a horse stall mat. So I bought one of those from Tractor Supply, and we gotta put it up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But also we got Crazy a target because he's got a bow too, so that he can practice in the backyard. And on the way home, I stopped at this local, I don't want to call it an orchard because that implies like just fruit trees. They have like strawberries, all kinds of local produce place. We'll put it that way. And picked up some peaches, and they were literally picked that morning. They are huge. They're like the size of my hand. They're ginormous. And they are so good. And this archery place we take her to is about an hour from our house. It's like 2 hours round trip, which, you know, could be excessive for some people, but we really like them. The guy is always willing to like give her pointers. I was like, bag, oh, bag toy's a baby bag. but he's always willing to like give her pointers, and he'll like right there in the shop be like, okay, that's I have an arrow you can shoot, and I'll give you some tips. So we really like the customer service that they have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and then 32 of these jobbers. I have like 4 bags of them, so we're just gonna run with it. These bags don't want to open as easily as like the normal Lego bags. In fact, what I'm gonna do is set that there and just 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. Yeah, so this is probably all the bags. Listen. So I don't know if you guys ever see this guy's videos. I assume he's on like TikTok, Instagram. I see him on Facebook because I'm old and I refuse to get another social media platform. But he talks about feral wives. He sells stickers, and Crazy got me feral AF stickers, like feral wife stickers. I would show you guys, but I'm not entirely sure where they are at this moment in time. They're somewhere in the house. Is everything semi-organized. Put these in my trash box back. Oh, I was gonna do that. Well, we're like halfway through. I got these, like my Christmas ones. Oh, that'll give somebody a seizure. Here, but napping, that's okay. I got these for the 4th of July, and then I forgot about it. There's a button back there somewhere. Well, dang. Oh, it's up higher. Nobody needs that amount of blinking. I feel like even on is a little bright. But happy Treason Day. Okay, I have all my extra pieces. So it looks like this will just be making the frame. So I'm going to gently move this aside so we have space to work. Okay, it wants one of these and 2 of these. Bedtime is horrid to children. They're going to miss out. And they cannot miss out. Caracosta was caught by Catacane. Okay. 6 of these. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a bunch of these. We're just gonna grab a handful and work with it. I am here but working. That's alright, Kevin. I appreciate you being here. Dang it. He's just not feeling well. His ears are hurting, so he's being unreasonable. Yep. Bedtime was always like that bittersweet moment of the day. You're like, yes, they're down and I can relax for a second. But at the same time, most days, bedtime is a fight. For whatever reason, like, I'm thirsty, I need a drink of water, which leads to I need to go to the bathroom, or I need a diaper change, or, you know, or the sneaking in the hallway. Okay, so we attach these other 6. I guess I can move this up now because we're not quite, you know, it's not detail work, it's big work. Come on. Technic pins are my downfall. I just want to make sure I didn't do anything wrong. No, okay, did it this way. And now they're like, hey, do it 2 more times. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's alright, Rad. You do whatever you need. I appreciate the look, though. And like I said, I don't know what to do half the time. Sometimes it's like literally right before the stream starts. I know what I'm doing. And sometimes not even then. Sometimes I get on and I'm like, I've got 10 things we can do today. What do you want to do? Because I ain't got a clue. Quick tax. Okay. It is the middle of the day. You can't even see any fireworks. Stop it. Yeah, it's the frame. I know. It's not really being unreasonable. I mean, it is, but it's understandably unreasonableness. I guess this is supposed to be like a closet of some sort, cabinet. No, that's too far to that side. it is the frame. I moved the picture part off to the side so I would have space to make sure we built. It's like a little. You can't really see the doors, but it looks like a little door sticker on there, like maybe cabinets of some kind, closet, something. Only have one more sticker. Okay, what do I have? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, just 4. Ignore me. I can't count apparently. Right, like it's still he's still being unreasonable, but it's understandable, but it doesn't change any of the facts. Little pegs do not want to be picked up. I mean, technically it has it being this way, but I don't think it really matters because it's exactly the same either way. Yeah, it's frustrating. I've been thinking about and praying for you too. I mean, it is immensely frustrating, and I can only imagine the in-person dealing with it of it all. Listen, get off the little pigs. We were, I say fortunate, but because I don't know a different way to say it, that most of Fantasy's issues were discovered long before she was ever even in school. They were all diagnosed pretty young. Her elbow was the last thing that was, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago now? Was like the last thing she had to be diagnosed with. Yeah, and then they discovered she had like learning issue stuff that she needed. In the States, we call it a 504 plan. Basically, accommodations that have to be made, like, because she's not. So she can read it, but comprehending it is another thing. So she has to be given like more time on tests and things like that. Oop, I'm trying to put pegs where they don't go. I got in a groove and then just kept going even when it was done. Listen here. You're not supposed to come apart like that. You're supposed to take more force. Book talk. Yeah. Like, it's frustrating when you can't get any answers. And that I completely understand. We have been through the no answer segment. It was not fun. Why are you... Oh, there we go. Why are you not lining up? Okay, let me see. Book talk. I'm currently reading a book. I don't know what it's called. I just chose it and I didn't pay attention to the title. I read the description and I was like, yeah, that seems good. And I have the following 2 books already. So let's just read that. So pause, please, while I look up the title. It's called Someone Like You by, I'm going to say Kat Nolan, but I may be pronouncing it wrong because it's Kait Nolan. So it may be slightly different and I'm just mispronouncing it wrong. But the story is about an author who, like, the first couple books just like poured out of her, right? And she's had pretty good success. Well, now that series is over, her publishing team came to her and was like, we want you to do a spin-off with one of the characters from the previous series, you know? And she said, okay, but she's already blown one deadline and is no closer to even starting the book than she was before. Like, there's just, she can't, the character is not speaking to her. Something, she's tried to come at it from several different ways and it's just not working. And she's on the phone with her person, one of her team, and she's like, I was just getting ready to head out to this secluded place, no internet, no phone, no distractions, so that I can finish it up. And the whole time she's talking to the person on the phone, she's like, what a crock of shit. No, you weren't. Where the hell did that even come from? And then she checks her email, and there's, she's joined the mailing list for this place her and her friends had gone the summer before. And they coincidentally had just sent emails about opening, adding a spa, to the resort, to the hotel, whatever. And so she's like, ooh, perfect timing. Let me switch screens here. You'll have to bear with me. It's a little wonky because I cannot get the app to work for some reason. So we will just have to make this work for now. But there were 91 units, 91 of us, and about the same of them when we started. Right, so she calls up the resort, and she's like, I don't know if you remember me. I came last year, and the guy's like, I totally do. Yeah. Oh, we won some kind of faction-y thing. So, one person can get... Well, actually, I don't know why they separated them like that. 2 people can get 15 coin, and 1 person can get vampire scrolls. If you would like. to do that. Right, so she she calls the hotel. She tells them she would like, to make a reservation. And the lady's like, no problem. We can, what time, when would you like to come? And she's like, today? And the girl's like, well, that's fast. You guys are quite spontaneous. But yeah, we can accommodate you today. And she's like, okay, I'd like to stay for 2 weeks. And the lady's like, no problem. But if you are heading out, be wary because there's supposed to be a snowstorm coming. And she's like, okay, They're not in alphabetical order this time. Oh, I guess maybe they changed. No? They're just not in alphabetical order this time. Okay. Nobody did, we'll go with Laura. And then Crazy. Ooh, I got stuffy stuffs. A bronze dragonfly fairy skin. Oh, that's what this is. That's clicky clicky. There is a war between the beast folk and the bugoids. Win battles to support a faction you favor. Ooh, who do we want to win? The beasts or the bugs? I should have probably paid attention to that before we did that last battle. But I personally don't like bugs of any kind. I vote beasts. So does fantasy. Bugs are. Ugh. Okay, we'll have to pay attention to the thing. Okay, so we want to fight against the bugs versus the beasts. I guess that's what it is. Okay, but I need warriors, right? Remember, if you put anything in this purple area, you won't move until there's like no option to move, but to move. It's a defensive zone. Is all that right? Now bag 13. And bag 13 is 2 bags. 3 bags. So bag 13's a biggin. Sorry, I gotta push down my bags. Right, so she books in and she's like goes upstairs, goes to her bedroom, throws some clothes and whatnot in a bag, and she's like, we're going. And I'm just gonna chaos build in this bucket, but I don't want to accidentally bump anything off the desk. It says, and 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the extra no number bags have been used now. So she gets in her car and she takes off. And she is driving and it is really coming down. So they're in like the Georgia, Tennessee region of the United States. And so when the lady said that there was going to be snow, she didn't like take her too seriously, or I should say worry too much, because that area doesn't get a ton of snow. And so she didn't take it too seriously. So she's driving, and it is really coming down. She can barely see the road, and she is pretty sure she missed her exit. And then there's a bear in the road. And she swerves to miss the bear, who ends up going through the guardrail and over the edge. And then it flips to the guy, the main male character in the book. He is prior military. He was special forces. Sorry, I'm just trying to count and it's not going well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And he is at the funeral of a friend. That he used to serve with. But he got out, the main male lead got out of the military several years ago. He just couldn't do it anymore. Like, it was a lot of, like, mental stuff. Like PTSD and survivor's guilt and all that. And he just couldn't do it anymore. So he got out like 2 or 3 years ago. And he sees his buddy struggling just the same way he is about the person that they both know who passed, because he was on that same mission and he blames himself even though he was hurt too. And the widow is just thanking everybody for coming and being there, like being friends with her husband and things like that. They can't take it. And so one of their other buddies who was at the funeral notices that he's not looking, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders, whatever. He's going through some mental stuff. And he's like, I have a cabin not too far from here that I rent out, but it's, the rentals this time of year pretty much dry up. So you can totally go stay there if you want. Like, get some time away, sort through it all in your head, whatever. And so he takes him up on the offer, and when he's driving up there, the snow, again, it's coming down pretty good. But he sees the car, or the broken guardrail, and so he stops to see if anybody, how old the accident is, etc., etc. And he sees her car over the guardrail. So he rappels down, because of course he has rappel rope in his trunk, and to check it out, to see if anybody's hurt, anything like that. I'm just gonna grab this stuff for both steps, because I know what the other... And he finds her in the car, and he starts like tapping on the window, seeing if he can, if she's conscious, so he can kind of plan how to get her out. And so when she responds that she's okay and she's conscious and that nothing seems broken, you know, he asks her if her legs are pinned or anything like that. And so he gets like the lift gate window open of her car. And she manages to get out, and he helps her get back up to the top, and then he takes her to the cabin where he's staying because there's really nowhere else to go. Like, it's snowing too hard to try to go back to town and take her to the inn she's supposed to be going to. And of course, you know, after he gets her back and warmed up and all that, of course, there's an attraction because, duh, that's how these books go. And he finds out that she's like one of his favorite authors. And the reason he didn't know it right away is because everybody assumes, because she uses a nom de plume, and everybody assumes the author is male. And she doesn't do public appearances related to her books, and that helps keep the mystery alive, you know? She does not enjoy public speaking at all. More of these. 2, 3, 4, 6. Where's the last one? Okay. And so, you know, there's of course only one room. And he's like, you go upstairs and sleep it off, you know, and I'll sleep down here on the couch. And she's like, please, you're way too big for that couch. We're both adults here. We can share a bed. And so they do, and she wakes up, and of course the power went out, you know, snow. But there's a generator, but it has an issue, and he can't tell what it is because it's dark. So lots of firewood. And anyway, so she wakes up in the middle of the night, and she's like, or we're not really middle of the night, but very early morning. And she's like, ooh, my tush is cold, because he's a cover hog. So she like leans over and she's trying to get the covers back, and he like kind of freaks out and pins her down, and she's like, okay. She like calls his name, and she's like, it's only me, it's Ivy. And she can't like break through to him, and he's not hurting her, he's just stopping her from going anywhere. And so she's like, I can't think of anything else to do, I can't overpower him, and if I probably start to struggle, it's only going to make this worse. And so she kisses him. And at first, nothing, and then he kisses her back, and she's like, okay. And he even says her name. So she thinks he's like, maybe not awake, but awake enough. Except somewhere along the line, he clearly wasn't. And he wakes up and he like jumps off of her, and she's like, okay. That didn't feel great. And so, by the time she comes downstairs, he's outside already. And she's like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna make breakfast. And she sets about doing that. And he's outside, like giving himself the third degree. Like, this woman was in an accident yesterday. You're supposed to be helping her, and here you are accosting her in her sleep. He's like, not cool, dude. Not cool. And so, you know, he fixes the generator. There was just some gunk in the in it, and he gets it going again. And he comes in, and he tries to like apologize, and she's like, dude, oh, sorry, I gotta push back. And I got slippy socks on, my hedgehog socks, so they don't have great traction. One, two dots, the third dot. So, she's got breakfast ready, and they sit down and they talk about it. Am I missing one? Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put one up there. Not missing, just put in the wrong spot. 6 and then 4 and 4. Right? So she made French toast, and he like tries to apologize. He's like, dude, and she's like, you can hardly apologize. I'm the one who kissed you first. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah. And she explains what happened. And he's like, oh. And she says, yeah, you assumed that you were like at fault, but no, not really. I think I got that on, right? Nope, I think 1, 2. Look like that. And he's like, oh, and she's like, and for the record, I'd enjoy it if it happened again. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, so I totally botched this, like all the way around. 5, 6, 7. And so they eat, and then they're talking about. They get on the subject of her writing, and he's like, you know, because she said she was having issues, and so they start talking about her writing, and she's like, what the hell, what can her talking about it hurt, you know? I'm not doing great figuring it out on my own. And so they get to talking about it, and like what her editors want, and kind of the issues she's having, and he helps her kind of make a breakthrough in that respect. And so when they're done eating, he goes to take a shower, and she's like, I'm gonna write, and she just starts going to town. Like, it's just flowing out of her. Like, so when he comes out, you know, she's still going to town, so he makes her another cup of coffee, and she's like, oh, thank God. And tells him what she's got accomplished, and she's like, she jumps up and she hugs him and gives him a kiss. And she's like, and he doesn't react. And so she's like, I botched, you know, like, he's not interested. Did you learn nothing from this morning? Like, yelling at herself mentally. And then she goes to pull away, and he pulls her closer instead, and he's like, I'm sorry about this morning. I really thought it was my fault. And she's like, but it wasn't. Like, it was clearly something, you know it wasn't now. And he's like, right. And then so he leans in and kisses her, and he's like, I just want you to know that this time it's really me. Like, I'm coherent. It's me choosing this. And she's like, okay. And then so of course they start. 1, 2. did you roll from? Oh, it was probably extra. So, you know, it goes upstairs. And this is not a closed door. They tell you what they're doing. Come on. No. Oh, there we go. Jesus, that did not want to cooperate. So, they spend all day doing the hankies of pankies. On and off, you know. And the next morning, they come down, she makes breakfast, etc., etc. And then there's a knock on the door, and he's like, were you expecting anybody? And she's like, this is your cat. Or she asks him, you know, were you expecting anybody? And he's like, no, nobody even really knows I'm here. And she's like, well, I suppose you should answer it. And so he answers it, and she's like, I'm just gonna run upstairs and get some pants on. Because she's, of course, just wearing his t-shirt. And it's a sheriff, and he's like, your friend in town, whose, you know, cabinet really is, asked me if I could swing by while I was doing patrols and check on you. And he's like, I'm all good. And he's like, great, because not everybody fared as well. We found a Bronco over the guardrail. We've got to get rescue crews down there to check it out. And he was like, I don't think you'll need to do that. And the cop's like, why? And he's like, because I have the owner here. And he's like, you do? And so she comes down and she introduces herself. And he's like, ooh, thank God. Prue was so worried. And he's like, Prue? And he's like, yeah, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my wife own the inn that she was supposed to go to. And they were worried when she didn't show up. And she's like, well, that is my car, and I was in an accident, but Harrison helped me. And the sheriff's like, well, thank God you were there and you found her when you did. God knows, I mean, overnight outside in those conditions, it could have been really bad. And she's like, that's what I thought too. 14 is 3 bags too. All the bags. It says, Happy Treason Day, and on the bottom it says, you ungrateful colonials. Welcome in, Carrot. Hopefully your day has been going nicely. I saw you were trying to get a walk in before it got unbearably hot. I can totally understand that. It was 100 degrees here yesterday without humidity. Just 100 without humidity. So it probably felt like 110. You could literally feel the air as you were moving through it. It was disgusting. So the sheriff asks, you know, like, oh, great, you're here. If you get your stuff, I'll take you back into town, into the inn where you're supposed to be. Like, where you would originally plan to go. And she's like, oh, I think I'll stay right here. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then the sheriff's like, are you sure? And she's like, yep. And the whole time, Harrison, the male lead, had been trying to figure out how to get her to stay, you know, without making it seem weird. Or what if she didn't want to stay? What if that was just a fun roll in the hay and she's ready to go get back to her real life now? So when the sheriff leaves, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I should not have said that without, you know, checking with you first. And he's like, no, I want you to stay. And so she's like, really? And he's like, yeah. that's not right, because that's... Three space instead of a 4 space. But, so he lets her, you know, get back to her writing, and that's basically where I stopped reading. And he's finding, like, they had a conversation, you know, of course, that helped her find her spark again and get this outline going for this book. But something she said, because she writes, I mean, according to him, she looks like a very sweet, innocent girl. But she writes thriller, you would call it, I suppose. She writes about serial killers and, you know, and the like. And he asked her what prompted her to, like, write books like that. And she's like, well, I had gone to college to be a criminal like CSI, but like FBI profiler. And she was dating a cop, and he got called to a crime scene on a date, and she didn't listen when he said stay in the car, and she got out and she got to see firsthand a crime scene, and she realized after that, it's not really for me. I can't do that job. Of course, she didn't quit school. She finished her degree. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe I can count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. She goes, so I put that use to writing. She would write like these little stories. You know, they would get cases in school, and the idea was just to figure out who the criminal was. But that wasn't enough for her. She would come up with whole little like background stories and stuff for the characters, or to go with the case. And it irritated her professors, but her fellow students loved it. And so when she realized that she was not going to be able to join the FBI because it was just not going to work for her, you know, doing that job, she, a fellow classmate was like, you should flush that, you polish up that story that you came up with and get it published. Try to get it published. And so she was like, and her friend's like, what's the worst that could happen? Nobody takes it? Okay, it's not like you set out for it to be a book in the first place. You haven't really lost anything. And she was lucky enough to get a publishing deal out of those first dozen or so, like, publishing companies she sent it out to. And before she realized it, she was in a 3-way bidding war for the rights to her book, like for people to publish it. So, and then by the time, you know, they had released book 1, she had books 2 and 3 pretty much written, and it just poured out of her. But now, with this new one, it just wasn't working. So when they were talking about that, she, you know, she was reading him as she was talking, and she finds that her characters and him have a lot in common. And so something she said really, like, triggered him, like you know, like, to think about what she was saying and if it was true, and if she meant it for her character, or if she was just reading him and just saying that for him, or maybe it was for him and for her character. But either way, it got him really thinking, like, he thought he had dealt with all his issues pertaining to things in his military career, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he just kind of shoved it all down, or not so much that, but like closed himself off to a degree. And so now he's really thinking about it. And what made him think that he had kind of dealt with it is because he's a writer too. Not on the scale she is, but he took all those missions and things he went through and writes like sci-fi books, you know? So like aliens and and lasers and things to process. And he thought, he had pretty much worked through it by doing that writing. But maybe he hasn't. Oh no, I put those two on. So fix it. But yeah, that's pretty much where I stopped. They haven't, like, he's got to decide if maybe opening himself up to the possibility of something, whether it be long-term or short-term, with her is like a step in the right direction, or if it's just another distraction from dealing with it. But like I said, this is the first book, and I have books 2 and 3 as well already, which means I probably got them somewhere along the line for free or cheap. Because sometimes when books go on sale for even like 99 cents, and it's like way cheaper than what they would normally be priced, I grab them. Truthfully, who knows how long these have been sitting on my Kindle. Now, all these white pieces. Okay, looks like there. Then a small one. And then 5. The frame on this one is different to both Starry Night and the Galaxy set. Okay, let's go back to this way. There are 73 units against 57 units. Woohoo! We won! You won the battle for Bugoid faction. Okay, so I guess we have to try the other way. I thought since we were fighting the bugs that it would be the way we wanted to go, but I guess not. Okay. Upgrade my warrior. After every pillage, Bugoids bury their treasure. It's time to get back. Time to get all that gold back for the beast folk. Maybe that's why both of them were just one. Because the bottom track is like for bugs and the top track is for bees? I don't know. But there we are all set up to participate if you wish. You're not gonna be able to see exactly what I'm doing because it's pretty, like, you know, big. So, but maybe that'll help a little bit. I was also thinking of, for next Tuesday, of like the Wheel of Chaos. So I could put on there like crochet, sort, build, diamond dot, you know, like, I don't know, different stuff. And like spin the Wheel of Chaos every 30 minutes. Also like bits. Like spend so many bits and I'll extend the stream. Whatever. Oh, last sets of bags. Is that a Wheel of Chaos something you guys would be interested in? just for it to go back to the other side. Missed one, obviously, while I was digging. Oh, right there. Okay. Yep, did that. Okay. Digging around in the wrong pile. Never find it that way. I know you guys can't quite see what I'm doing, but you can't really see it if I extend it out either. It's hard to get, like, you know, a good picture because it's further away. So you guys can kind of see better on this side. So instead of just flopping the camera back and forth, I'll leave it where it is. We're just gonna grab a handful of these because we're gonna need a ton of them anyway. So it's 1, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. when you have a bunch of like the same color and you're just staring at it and you're like, I can't find it. But it's right there for you to fix. Ooh, no extra. Unless it slid underneath the lip of the frame. I don't think so. Okay, I will try to get this like up kind of as far as you can see. Because now we drop this in and press it down. Yep, and it's like, make sure you press everywhere. Okay. Now we press in these. One, two. Okay. And ta-da! We have a frame. Yeah, I was looking for the where they'd want you to hang it from. But there is the Great Wave. Make sure there's nothing else. Pressing too many things. Give it me. Nope, this way. And eventually I'll figure it out. But that is the Great Wave finished. You guys can kind of see a little bit better this way. But there's like birds and lots of leaves to give it, you know, text. Like a texture effect. I really enjoyed this build. And like I said, the frame, building, and how it connects to the picture is different from both Starry Night and the Milky Way set. So the Milky Way set is like those same push bricks, but they are literally the edge of the frame. Whereas this is like a border, and those push pins are like connecting the border to the picture. And Starry Night is built like vertically, like you use lots of the tiny like 1x4s and 1x6, 1x12, whatever, to give it that stacked layered color effect as it's going up for like the base of the painting. And then the frame is connected differently. So this was really interesting. I like seeing how each one of them is like, they did it a little different. Like I said before, the Milky Way is a little fragile, but given its size, I don't think there's a way not for it to be a little fragile. You definitely have to be careful when you're moving it. This one it feels much sturdier, doesn't have that like twisty effect that I feel like the Milky Way has, but it's ginormous. There's, like I said, I don't think there'd be a way for that one not to be kind of fragile. But I definitely like the way this one connected. I hear the brick attacks. Now I just have to figure out where I'm going to put that. Let me pull this back down. Okay, just double check we didn't accidentally do 2 pages. Nope. Mom!
Mummy! Mummy! Mama! Mama!
What?
Mama!
What?
Hi. We have like a little lamp in the corner there, and that was the step. That was it, the whole thing. Okay, I gotta take this headband off. It's like a little longer than the other ones I have, and it's pushing right back there, and it's starting to give me a headache and hurt my neck. Okay, we have at least an hour left. I guess we'll play some video games. You know, skin tickets, find them in the mythic box. Sorry, I'm reading the thing on Streamers. So there's the little ticket thing here at the top, and I was trying to figure out what it was, but it says like skin tickets find them in the mythic box. So let's go to the store. So I guess rubies. Let's try mythic box. You buy it for 12 rubies. And then when you get 30 of whatever the tickets, I guess, you get the mythic box. And it's going for 179 days. So that's like a long freaking time. That's like 6 months. So we will definitely have to try that. What? I think Ruby versus. I tried to download, you wouldn't let me. Let me try to get that to work again. I don't know why it's being like so difficult. Let me try to uninstall it again. Maybe it didn't like fully uninstall last time. Stream Raiders, like the app, is being weird again. So I clicked to uninstall it, and then I went to reinstall it, and it did that same cannot unpack folders or whatever. It did that thing again, where like it wouldn't. It was said I couldn't use it, so I uninstalled it, and then I went to reinstall it, but it's just doing the same thing where it can't unpack whatever. And then I went into my like add remove to try to remove it that way, and it says I can't find it. Sorry guys, I don't know what it's Streamers has been being real funky today. Yes, instant. We'll just keep playing it the way we are. I was just gonna try to get us rubies, but it's being weird. Yes, when somebody's been in a bunch or I'm in their thing a bunch, I just put you on instant shout out because I'm horrible at the shout outs. So if I don't put them on instant, then I either forget about them or I acknowledge the person, but then I don't do the shout out. So that way I just, I just make it easier on everybody all the way around. Okay. We'll turn off the YouTube sound. And we'll go to gaming. We just finished the wave. We did the Great Wave and finished it up today. And thank you for popping in, even if it's only to lurk. I appreciate all views, and I myself am a lurky lurker. So, well, let's see if anybody has come to dine. I'm here, Remy. This way I don't have to chase you down when I need you. Mint chocolate, chocolate macaroons, and lobster. Well, I only have to do two. Let's do macaroons and mint chocolate if I can. So last night I spent a bunch of time just running back and forth between the two houses and finally got everything into the correct house. So that way when I play like the what is it? The expansion, there's the word I'm looking for. When I play the expansion, I'll still have access to all my like stuff in my storage.
Hello. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I am having a good day. Hopefully, you are having a good day as well. We've been playing Stream Raiders, and we finished the Great Wave. And we just started playing this. Like these quests here that I have that are unlocked are actually all part of the expansion, which I went there to just check it out, and of course, you know how that works out. You wind up doing stuff and quests and quests. I was like, stop it, go back to the original game and play that. But like, in order to open this quest, I have to have Sully for Monsters Inc. That's how some of them are. Like, some of them you just need to level up. But like this one, I need to progress further with Remy before I can progress further with Jack. Yeah, we haven't done anything. We like woke up late and took a shower, and that was basically it before I started streaming. And I have a phoenix. And phoenix wings.
Being here is almost as good as
That's the phoenix wings and the phoenix are from this star path. Like you do these things, whatever pops up. Like a new one pops up once you do one and it goes away. And then you get the little coins, and then you can buy these things with those coins. And these things, I guess, will only be available for as long as this star path goes. So you have to get them while you can, basically. But it's like a month and a half long that it runs, so they give you plenty of time. So I need to progress with Remy. And I did most of these that I could do. Like, these I just have to, like, keep mining and waiting. I did this today, so I have to do it again tomorrow. And these I can only clear as they appear. In the same way with the Daisy one. What are we doing here? Silly thing. Okay, we have 101 units in the battle. Against 145. Wowza. That's a lot. Well, we are doing pretty good. Any scrolls. Okay, Laura. We only lost like 15 people in that whole battle. That's amazing and kind of crazy because there were a ton of people. I mean, like a ton of bad guys. There's 2 people can get 10 gold, and 1 person can get flag bearer scrolls if anybody else wants to redeem. If not, I will just randomly pick within the people of chat. Let's see. Crazy's in chat. Fantasy's in chat. Rad's in chat. I think I could probably do one of each. Like everybody get one. Because I don't think... Nope. That's everybody in chat. Listen, I know we wanted to fight for the beast. I think we need to go up. I think that's the deal. Like, these are all fighting for the bug, and up here you fight for the beast. I didn't realize that, though. But this is a loyalty gold chest, so... Yeah, listen, it was not meant to be like check it out. Like I was like, well, I should say it was meant to like just kind of walk around and look. And then of course that's not how it stayed. I started doing stuff and I was like, no, come back out. Don't do that. You got to play the original game before you can, play the expansion. Set battle points. Okay, even though I got those scrolls, it didn't. So we'll have to fight this one in order to kind of get out of the bug area and into the beast area. I just got a text. I just want to make sure it isn't anything. Nope, it's Dominoes. Celebrate the 4th of July with Dominoes. Okay, so we gotta just do stuff to build up like the friendship with Remy to get the next one. So we're in the plaza. We can do the 3 decorations in the plaza. I went and got Simba and Nala Tuesday after stream. I have to rock or do mining in the Glade Trust anyway to try to get those green ones, so let's go try it out. Yay, a gem, but not the right color gem. I need green gems to do that one quest. only in this area or the forest and valley. That should have counted as one. Yep, I only need one more then. Whoops, the thing. Fish in the peaceful meadow. So we will go up here and fish. I go over here. Spices. This should be a spice. What's your deal? Why are you dead?
Yeah!
Boop boop. I got a book bag. I've been seeing a couple dead. Like, I didn't realize, like, the plant life that just appears in the game could die. It hadn't been before, but just recently. And I thought maybe it was, like, gonna be connected to a quest line, you know? And maybe it still will be? I'm gonna try to do the mining in this area and hopefully get the last green one I need. Bridge is the other one. Go fish for tuna. Where do we find tuna? Forgotten lands or glades. Press okay. Decorations. Bullet or Dazzle Beach. Vertex. Okay, let me run over here so I'm at least kind of where I intend to be. Want to be? Okay, we did that one. white one. To you. This blue one. The green one. And the last sticker. Icker. Put it on this blue block. Pillow. Then the feet of the bed. And then your blanket. And it goes right in there. So like a living room and a bedroom. Throw that sticky paper away. Oh. Let's decorate Dazzle Beach. Okay, let's go back up here and check out our garden. I planted some stuff earlier. Oh, it wants us to water it. Let's put... So like I said, I redid the house. I finally figured it all out. Okay, was it? Prepare 2 meals. Mine the plaza. But first we're going to go feed the sunbird. I just saw the wings. Where was it? Oh, dang it, I hate when it's kind of turned and you can't see it. It looked like it worked though. Ooh! We now have that added to our companions. Feed a squirrel. That's okay because we have to go back down to the plaza anyways. So let's find a squirrel. speaking of, hello, squirrel. My 3 rock spots. Dazzle Beach. Ooh, I'm pretty sure I just heard thunder. Maybe all the fireworks will be rained out. Yeah. Well, like maybe it'll be so rainy they won't be able to do fireworks. Yeah, I was like, did a box truck just fall over? Nope, that was thunder. Did I just miss that? No, that's the brick tax I did. I was like, did I miss a brick tax? But can I catch cod here? Yeah, well, let's try it. Yeah, maybe it'll rain and there can be no fireworks. I don't personally have anything against fireworks done properly, but every Tom, Dick, and Harry with the fireworks till 2 in the morning is a bit much. Well, we were gonna have hamburgers for dinner. I don't know how grilling's gonna work in the rain, depending on how hard it rains. If not, we'll just have chicken nuggies. We'll have the nuggies. A wild snow runt is loose in town.
What a perfect day.
Ooh, there was one with the cause. Okay, so they come out of red circles. Oop. Yep, ads. Okay, well, oh, this is a red one too, so let's try. It was worth a shot. Okay, while we're on ads, I'm gonna quick run and do a potty break. Oh, I forgot we're on web browsing. Sleepy kitty. Welcome back. I just ran to the potty while we were on break. Okay. What was I trying to do? Oh, I was trying to catch cod. Fish in the Forgotten Lands. Oh, it looks like a memory I missed.
Oh, the flowers are going to love this rain.
So there's supposed to be like 4 different memory sets, whatever, for Inside Out 2, and when you collect and finish the memory, you're supposed to get like an Inside Out animal, essentially. Like a companion that kind of goes with the movie Inside Out. And I got 2 of them, but I cannot find the stuff to do the other 2. I have like the anxiety squirrel and the envy rabbit, but there's supposed to be a turtle and something else. And I can't find it. Like, I'm not sure where to get the memory pieces from.
Oh, I'm so
there's that cod I needed. Maybe that was the key, just fishing. I think I need one more cod. I really don't mind fishing. It's not that hard in this game, and they sell for a pretty good price. So harvest lemons, decorate frosted heights. Does frosted heights have lemons? No. It's the forest. And this, I think. No, there's cherries here. Valor has lemons, though. So, let's go there, and then we can just walk up into the bus. Or do the Frosted Heights and then walk down the valley. Whatever. Decorate the Frosted Heights. A tip for the decorating, you don't have to leave the menu before you... Yeah, I know. I just closed the menu. I, like, put them out. Let me... There we go. Rotate so I can see what I'm doing. Dang trees are always in the way. I do that, and then I close it, and then I get rid of them. When you do the stuff for Donald Duck where he wants you to decorate, you have to leave it and then go back and talk to him and then come back and remove it. But when they're just for like these dreamlight duties, you don't have to. Prepare a 5-star meal and harvest lemons. Okay. Oh look. My plan is to leave cooking stations and the crafting stations and almost everywhere, like in every region. That way I don't have to run around to a certain place to do it. So I have... Over there's a crafting station, and I have a fire thing there. Lemony lemons. 3 coconuts. Feed a rabbit. I don't think I have a carrot on me. On my plateau.
Good to see you. Great to see you.
I think I can do another level over here on Wally's garden
Hello.
plot.
Woohoo!
dumbass and forgot to plug my headphones. With that on the map, you can fast travel even easier than the way I was doing it. There's a button that brings up a list of locations you can travel to instead of having to be looking at the place you want to travel to. Oh! Oh, like this! And even within the realms. That's cool! Doobly-doos. Browsing. There is 95 troops on the field and 157 of them. That is super convenient. I saw that down there before, but I never like clicked on it because it's not that hard to like just, you know, move the map over a little bit. Plus, most of the time when I fast travel, I'm looking for like a specific character, and so I have to like look around where the character is. We're taking him out. Yes, I know, battery low, because I'm a dumb butt and didn't charge it. Yeah, I imagine on the Switch it is definitely a harder task. We'll give this to Rad Builds. And then we'll give one to Laura and one to Trell. My brain like short circuited there for a second. Upgrade. I don't think I did any more quests. Nope. Nope, unless I want to waste money. I don't mind doing it when it's 100. Like just 100 coin, but once you start getting more than that, I'm like, that's just kind of wasting it. My batteries are low on my headset because I forgot to charge them. So I think we're gonna have to find somebody to raid into before my headphones die, and then, you know, just fun. Let's see. Carrot is on, but we raided into him the other day. Let's. I'm not fantastic at that raid thing, but let's try it. I don't know what it is about it that I just maybe I'm not searching things correctly, and that's why I have an issue with it. You know, like thank you all for hanging out. If you guys have someone that you'd like us to raid into, that's fine. You can let me know. I mean, there are a couple people on I'm following, but I know that sometimes you guys are following people I'm not. So that's also a good way for me to. Yeah, I was like, both of them are live. He's finishing the Artemis. Okay, we'll go into Mr. Harral. Yeah, I know, but we raided into him the other day because he started late. Hopefully, you had a good nap. Okay. Never mind me. I'm apparently unable to know what I'm doing. Ooh. Let's see. Make sure I type that right. Good, it's coming up. Just let me copy pasta it. Here we go. But anyway else, sometimes it gives me such hard trouble like getting it to highlight just a certain way to copy and pasta. But thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you Crazy for the bits. I think I'm gonna do the Wheel of Chaos on Tuesday for like my 1 year anniversary streaming. But I'll be on Sunday with probably more Dreamlight Valley. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. Thank you so much.